Hi there. Hope you're all doing well. Um, Before I head off to my mom's today, I wanted to record something. I've been trying to wind the threads of something that I experienced yesterday. And I kind of understood it internally, but it's come more and more into a state of words for me in a way I want to express. Um, this might actually be part of this year of discomfort I'm going through, but it also applies just very deeply to what it is I share in the world, how I teach, how I coach people, what it is I'm hoping for people. And the thought started forming itself while I was walking to the store last night. I needed a few things at the grocery store before it closed. It's still beautiful and snowy out. The moon was still full and bright on everything. And I was really still very emotionally, viscerally feeling the feeling that I had. What it was, where it started, was I watched, and you'll know by what I'm saying what the date is. Like today is Valentine's Day 2025, day where we are told to remember love in our hearts. It's not really about love of others because that can't occur without love of self. It's a day to express this joy and wonder and desire. So the love I was feeling was a love of whatever is occurring right now in the world. It was also yesterday would have been my oldest sister's 62nd birthday, and she died 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago now. She did make it through her 60th birthday. So, it's a little reminder too of what was making me emotional. You see, the thing that created the emotion was I watched the swearing in of RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., as the Americans' director of health. I don't know the whole title. The titles don't matter to me, but he is going to be the one in charge of dictating what real science is, like real research into everything, of taking us back to a connection to something deeper. And it doesn't matter to me whether or not you agree with whether Trump should be there or not. It doesn't matter if you necessarily like everything you hear from RFK Jr. I trust. I trust what I know, and what I know comes from a deep internal knowing, a deep truth. And one of the gifts I have had ever since I can remember as a child was really, truly knowing when something was true and wasn't. I didn't always follow that knowing because the world around me didn't want me to. And sometimes the safest thing was just to believe or follow what everybody else wanted. I was always looking for safety and comfort because I was from a family where that wasn't necessarily always available. So what do? You, despite what you know, you go the other way. And I did that for a lot of my life. But anytime went against what I truly deeply knew is when I got in more dire situations than not. You see, trying to make others happy takes away our own deepest understanding of ourselves. So now, here at this point in my life, I have done the deep work. I have done the study, and I continue to dive into this thing that is making so many people sick, making us these diseased, disconnected, unhappy, overstressed beings that we are becoming. And I say we because we are a collective. Even if I'm doing better than somebody else, the collective together dictates the flow of energy. So yesterday I watched confirmation of this man that some people want to call a lunatic and others want to say is brilliant, but I have done my deep research and I watched him being sworn in and I could see it and I could feel it. This emotional, deep joy that was going on in that moment, not just for him, for his family and friends that were there, but for myself. Because no matter what anyone believes, I have done my research and I have listened to him deeply talk for long hours about how he hopes to see a change. He isn't going to be right about anything, everything, but he doesn't claim to be right about everything. What he does claim to do is be willing to find voices from differing backgrounds who will do the work of digging into what truth actually is, of helping take us back from the edge. And I say us because what happens in the States affects us here in Canada. It has a deep combined effect. We don't have a chasm at the border that keeps us separate. All of our social media is shared, all of our information is shared, all our ways of dealing with things are shared. And what I've watched is an incremental rise of disease and distress that is not right. And if you can tell me that it is all right, that there is no problem, and you can prove it to me, wonderful. I'm hoping I could find that. But right now, what I've seen, I can extrapolate outwards, whether it's with my family, father who died of pancreatic cancer, sister who died of pancreatic cancer, my father at 70, my sister at 60, my mother who had breast cancer and also had perforated ulcers and other problems we're not going to go into. That's her own story to tell. Many health issues, a sister who's had another sister, my other only remaining sister who's had a number of health issues, niece who has autoimmune issues and has had other issues, an aunt with Parkinson's, an uncle with many health concerns, including diabetes. That's just my little small family. I have a grandmother who died with Parkinson's, a grandfather with Alzheimer's. I only have actually in this contained little family my one grandmother who died of old age. She went to sleep at night and did not wake up in the morning. And even she struggled with many health concerns, but they were more, an age related and not as much caring. She had been a smoker for a good chunk of her life. She had her uterus removed, which caused many issues because when she had it done, there weren't a lot of understanding of how you could support women if they had a hysterectomy. But that's my small group. And then you extrapolate it out to friends, to loved ones, to people I work with, my clients. And there is this overwhelming illness of being. And this is not normal. It is not right. It's not just in us, it's in the trees around us, the plants around us. I'm walk around this city and I'm recognizing how many trees are at their end state that are dying because they have funguses and they have diseases that you can see, you can visually see, and you know they're not long for this world. And that's going to hugely affect our way of being. And I'm in Vancouver. So there is this almost die off, this death going on that we're wanting to cover our face and go, oh, it's all right. I can take a drug, I can take whatever, and it'll all be good. I'll deal with it when it happens, when it shows its face. But I honestly, truly believe that each and every one of you, each person that I know, everyone that I don't know, has the right to maybe have something a bit better than that, has the right to be where we used to be, which is in a state of being where our bodies are capable of taking care, rebuilding, re-nurturing, rebalancing everything, a homeostatic way of being. It isn't meant for one person here, one person there, and oh, too bad, unless you've got the money to get the right care. No, it should be that we all have that ability and we all have the right to it. We all have the right to the food that creates that. And here was RFK Jr. being sworn in. 50 years of his life have gone into fighting the people who would have you believe that you just need to take a drug, kill off parts of yourself, and wait for the end. Take another drug and take another drug. And let's not do research about how maybe food could change things. Let's not look into the simplest, easiest, foundational aspects of ourselves. So I had tears in my eyes because I truly believe that he cares. And all of a sudden, despite all the odds, this man is now in that place where he can possibly change the trajectory of where we are going. Again, like I said, doesn't matter what your politics are. Why wouldn't you want to see if that is possible? Why wouldn't you want to see what could possibly change? I wish we had that here in Canada. I wish we had this opportunity to see if it's possible. I can't explain the emotions I had. I'm having them right now. It's ridiculous to me that people will fight that tooth and nail, and it says something to me that people would want to fight that. I know you deserve better. I know we deserve better. I know we are better than that, and we will do better than that. And it's a slow growth and it's a slow reclaiming, but it is happening. You know, there's a lot of forests when they become diseased that the only way for the disease to be wiped out is by fire to go through. And those forests were created that way. Nature, in her infinite wisdom, set it up so those fires could move, so those forests could move through a fire, be burnt down to ashes, and that is what would regenerate the seeds of what they were going to become next. That is what created new growth, new healthy living ways of being. And I think we have just gone through the fire. Maybe it's still smoldering, and I think the seeds of possibility right now are blooming in us, if maybe only in this one small place. Like I said, you don't have to agree with me. I don't need you to. And honestly, I'm not here for everybody because we all resonate with different people. But I hope you at least maybe listen to what's going on there and see if you can pull it into your life. See if you can open the doorway just a bit, especially if you have a lot of people around you who've been getting sick, or you yourself have gone through a lot of illness. Is there something more than a simple pill that can fix you? I'll give you this. We are human. Human. So in language, you break things apart to really see what a word means. Well, human comes first part from humus. And what is humus? It's all the detritus of the force that regenerates back into soil, into earth, and becomes the earth. It's the stuff that breaks down to create something rich. That humus is that stuff you smell, and you can smell that richness of earth. So we are of the earth. We are humus, humans, humus. But that second part of human, man, doesn't mean male. So stop everybody freaking out about, oh, it's got to be who people or whatever. That word man came from manas, Sanskrit word for mind. We are mind kind. We are those humans, humus, created beings with a mind, thinking, feeling, willing, memory, able to take all these memories and change and create and grow things and build and create poetry and art and music. We are human, built of the earth with minds. But here's the thing. This is the thing that hit me as I was walking to the store last night, and I had to stop and go, oh crap. How much longer can we call ourselves humans if we keep going down this road? Because at some point, if all we eat is processed food, fast food, stuff that isn't actually food, that is man-made chemicals and compounds that really doesn't have any resemblance to what comes of earth. Because remember, it's that food that replenishes, regrows, nurtures us, rebuilds our cellular body. If we're no longer eating any real food of earth, and we're not really using our minds because they've become so co-opted by propaganda, by social media, by quick sound bites, by just things that take us in and make our worlds shrink because we're unwilling to have critical thinking and go read and check and find out answers for ourselves and be discerning and be these thriving beings. Then if those minds are no longer being used, when even entertainment and art are being co-opted within those frameworks so that it's no longer creative, but it has to fit a certain guideline, well, then are we really human anymore? Maybe we are the AI at some point because we're artificially being created. Maybe it has nothing to do with programming. Or maybe we just need to find a new word altogether for what we are at some point, because we're not thriving earth form things. The amount of earth we are is like a homogenized forest that's been replanted as a commodity rather than a rich, thriving place of growth that contain carbon in the soil and pushes out particles in the air that hold on to water that create rain. Instead, they're just these things to be cut down once they've grown 40 years to sell off, let nothing else grow in the earth, fill it with glyphosate, fill it with chemicals that kill off all the bacteria, the fungi, everything that actually makes it healthy and thrive, because that's what we become. Crops that are sprayed with glyphosate where nothing else is rich, where the food, the so-called food we put in, doesn't actually contain minerals and all the things that rebuild us, because those have been killed off in the earth that the roots would normally pull in. And we then do it to ourselves as well by putting in drugs, putting in things that will kill off those good bacteria, those good fungi, the things that truly make us a thriving part of life. That's all we are. We're a homogenized resource, no more, no less. So I'm happy. And it's okay if you're not, because I have absolute trust that you don't have to like it, but it's happening no matter what. And maybe I'm wrong, but wouldn't it be amazing if I'm right? Wouldn't it? Wouldn't you feel good if this actually is what it is? Wouldn't you celebrate it? We've given the other way of being a chance for a lot of decades. So maybe we can spend a few years giving this a chance without complaining, without bitching, calling things out when they are very obviously wrong, but maybe just kind of going, okay, let's see. Let's see what happens. The fires burn through. I can feel it. The seeds of something are being nurtured, and that soil is being gathered by fungi, and something is ready to grow. So I'm taking a deep breath. I don't feel like sitting at the bedside of any more people ready to die for no better reason than the food and the crap that had gone into their bodies have killed them off. I want to sit by the bed of people dying of old age, tell them about the amazing lives they've led, the creative, expressive, empowered ways of being that they have experienced. Celebrate them for that. See them go at the time that their last breath was meant to be. Because, man, oh man, what a forest of humans we will be at that point. So, yesterday I cry, today I smile, and now I say goodbye so I can go and spend the rest of Valentine's with my mother, the woman who gave birth to me so that I could be here at this point in time to take what I have to share it with you, whoever you is that wants to hear this, whoever you is that wants to change your way of being and start thriving. Shoot for the sky. That hole in the canopy is opening, and that's when you grow. Okay. Happy Valentine's Day. Celebrate Kamadev. He's the real Cupid. Celebrate yourself. Remember that your heart is your truth of everything, of who you are, your cardia. I celebrate you, you amazing humans. See you on the other side. Take care.